Good afternoon and happy Friday, Australian Society and Culture students. I hope you're all going well and we're progressing very quickly through this course. So just a quick video to check in with you and to answer some frequently asked questions in regard to the blog assessment. Now, I'm very excited and happy to report that there has been some action in the discussion forum thread about this assessment. So thank you to Dylan and Holly. Excellent questions, and I have written some pointers that everyone else might want to hop on and have a look at as well. And don't be afraid to post your questions. So I have had a lot of emails asking me about the assessment, and they're pretty evenly split. So half of you have been sending me drafts or have been asking questions that indicate that you are well on your way to completing your first draft. So for those of you that fall into that basket, excellent, keep up the good work. Don't stop now. So you guys have plenty of time to go to Annette and Learning Support, or email myself or the other tutors as you progress through your drafts if you have any more questions or want some feedback. The other half of you who have been emailing me are having a lot of trouble trying to figure out how to start this assessment. Now, because you guys probably need the most help, I'll dedicate most of this video to addressing those questions and getting you all up to speed. So the first category of emails are where to start. I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do. I haven't done anything and I'm freaking out. Don't freak out, which is easy for me to say, but please don't stress. We're here to walk you through it. So the first thing I would do if I was in your position would be to revisit the lecture slides for week 2. Now these are the slides that are at the start of the lecture. I think it's probably the first 3 or 4, and there are a couple of slides in particular that talk about how to actually approach starting this assessment. So the first thing you have to do is come up with a personal issue. It doesn't have to be something that you've experienced personally in real life. It can be if you're comfortable doing that, but if you're not, or if you're sort of searching for inspiration, it can be entirely hypothetical. So something you've made up, something that you've seen on social media. So for example, a friend or an acquaintance posting about a personal issue that just happens to fit the topic criteria. So that leads me to the next step, the topic criteria. If you're struggling, you could actually start off by revisiting the lectures. So the requirement is that it has to fit within weeks 1 to 4. And now if you look under course materials, all of the lecture slides are up for those weeks with some additional helpful information as well that might help you in those folders. So have a look at that. So if you haven't got a hypothetical or a personal issue, have a look at those lecture slides, and there are heaps and heaps of topics in there that might sort of spark your imagination, hopefully your sociological imagination, which is the next point. So once you have your issue and you've checked off that it actually fits that topic criteria, you have to apply 1 to 2 aspects of your sociological imagination to that issue. So remember, that's historical, how's the past influenced the present; cultural, so remember the iceberg analogy for culture. So culture is the visible stuff, so like language, food, dress, that kind of stuff, but there's also the under the surface stuff, so cultural norms, beliefs, values, customs. So that's what we mean when we talk about those cultural aspects. Moving on to structural, we're talking about the way our society is organised. So we're talking about laws, government policies, but also social institutions as well. So that could be the health system or the education system, for example. So how we organise things as a society. The last aspect of the sociological imagination is critical. So it's about thinking critically, questioning the status quo, and sort of asking questions like, why are things the way they are, and how could they be done differently? So looking at cross-cultural examples are a good way of, I suppose, stepping outside of your own cultural lens and being able to reflect on something, an issue, critically. Okay, so those are those requirements. The next step is when you actually have sort of mapped out your blog, is your research. So they have to be reputable sources, academic sources. Best place to find them are the library. And if you're not sure, you can always ask the librarian or ask myself. And remember that handy online Ask a Librarian live chat function. So don't forget that. Okay, if you're still struggling, a couple of questions to ask yourself, or maybe things to check off on before you email me. The readings. So weeks 1 and 2 are all about the sociological imagination. So if it's that part that you're confused with and you haven't done those readings, please do them. There are also readings that correspond to the topics as well. So have a look at those. All right. Good luck. Happy Friday.